Lots of things have changed. Just how things works. How things works, move that doesn't exist, and etc. etc. Yeah. It weren't as complex. No, I don't think so. Even now, when I did coils, like I don't think the mechanic is not complex. It's most like tether, stack, spread, what bait, right? It's not complex at all. It's just the execution is still really hard. Well, by hard I mean like the savages. If I go back to Twintania, right? If I go back to Twintania, is it complex? Not really, because like in Twintania, right? What mechanic is there? One, there's ads. Two, there's puddle, which you need to bait. Three, there's the tank buster, which is slam or plummets, which basically just a healing check. Then there's link, not linkor, Neuralink, which is like you didn't know what to do at first. What is this Neuralink? But like once you get to the wipe phase, then you understand how to use the Neuralink. Because like at that point, there's nothing else to do, and there's only Neuralink in the ground. So one person will be like, "Hey, what if you stand on the ground?" So nothing is very complex to solve in coils. Coils mainly were like, whoa, when coils come out, it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. You have to rewind back to new player and 2013 player weren't as trained in mechanics, etc. in general. I have a question. Well, okay, I have two questions actually. First of all, because I believe in FF14, right? Most of people who played 1.0 are people who played 11, I would assume, right? Because like people who play like regular Final Fantasy mainline, I don't think they'll be interested in playing MMO at first, right? Because like you going for JRPG to MMORPG, I don't think they'll be appealing for a player at first. So I assume like people are playing 11 or they come from WoW. That is their player base, right? So my question is, one, was FF11 have the same mechanic like stack, spread, and all that stuff? And two, was there a lot of WoW player or people who come from other MMO that joined the 1.0 hype? Or were they, or third option is that people are completely fresh, never touched an MMO before and play the game. In 1.0 there's no telegraph. Well, we're not talking about 1.0. Let's just forget about 1.0, brother. I know you play it, but we know it's a bad game. Let's not talk about 1.0. L11, there's no telegraph. Okay, there is no telegraph, which means that how do you resolve the mechanic then if there is no telegraph? Is it like a completely different mechanic? Like, okay, so my question is it still like a stack spread mechanic or is it like a completely different type of mechanic, if you know what I mean? F11 was not like a dance. Okay. I see what you mean. So people who come from FF11 to FF14, 1.0 or 2.0, they're not used to the fight where you need to stack and spread because there's no telegraph. So when there's a telegraph, they're like, what is this telegraph? Oh, for that telegraph happens in main story quest though, no? So how are they, what, huh? I don't get it. Remember, they invented the new player thing. I forget what it's called. Sprout? Sprout icon that teaches you mechanic how to play your role. Oh, Novice Network or Novice whatever it is. To be fair though, like no one do it. I didn't even do it myself. Like Novice training thingy. Like no one uses it. Yeah, it's the Novice thingy, right? The I don't know what you call it, man. Brother. I know Tanalan and I know this one, Camp Dryborn. I think it's like over here. There's like a Novice Hall. Are you not talking about Novice Hall? Also, outside the first few dungeons in the game, like Satasha, it's not the chat network. No, I'm not talking about Novice network. It's the Novice Hall, I believe. What I'm saying is that no one uses Novice Hall anyway. Personally, I don't even use it. I don't think anyone uses Novice Hall. All of the Novice. Yeah. Like even now, no one uses it. Like even if they introduce it, it doesn't really. I don't think people learn from it. Like people learn from doing the mechanic and probably like a friend teaching them. Hey, this is stack marker. You need to stack together with your party. You know? Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Actually, no. I get the sentiment. I think because back in Lost Ark when it first released, right? We have what we call our own clock spot, and it was so hard to coordinate with our player to do like something that is very simple now. I think I get what you mean. I get what you mean. It's like in Lost Ark we have like a clock spot in one of the dungeon, and all we need to do is that we go to our clock spot, our own spot, and then we just have to rotate clockwise. That's all we need to do, and grab an orb. So there will be orb that like shooting outside. And all we need to do as a DPS, everyone, is just stand on our spot, wait for the orb to comes out, grab it, go clockwise, pick up the next orb, and then walk clockwise again, wait for the next orb, grab it, and it's like the orbs have different color, yellow and white, and you just have to take it like alternatingly. Doing something simple like that was very hard in the beginning. People doesn't know how to do it. But now it's very simple. Like everyone should know how to do it. If you can't do it, then you're getting kicked. I think I understand what your sentiment. People have used it. It give you gear. Don't know, some people don't use it. I'm pretty sure they'll be in a minority. I don't think people would want to use it. Otherwise, they won't add it in the game. Hall of Novice was not originally in the game. It came out way later. I've seen people play Lost Ark. Ready and going crazy or player who couldn't do basic mechanic but FF14 trains you from the very first dungeon. I disagree. I mean, yeah, I disagree. Lost Ark does teach you the basic from early on. If you start from the beginning and you actually do everything, then yes, it teaches you the basic mechanic, just such as countering, like clock spot and gauge management, dodging. I don't know. It's not like a dance, so it's more like dodging the mechanic. I guess the way you dodge, like for example, like the pizza pattern, that's one way to do it. And there'll be like a cone that you need to dodge. That's like another pattern. But it's not really a mechanic. Alex, people who are new, have you done the Hall of Novice? I mean, that's a good point. Like if you ask Sprout, if you found a Sprout, have you done Hall of Novice? I personally will guarantee you, like the ratio of people who have done it and people who haven't is very small. Because people want to play the game. I'm not doing this for tutorial. There's only too many systems that I have to remember. I don't think people would have the patience to like actually practice it on a Hall of Novice. If they want to learn, they'll do it in a dungeon. Only an assumption, but I do feel if people were comfortable, they won't add it in the first place. Like, well, here's the thing, right? Like, dev can implement something that player doesn't interact. Like, just because it's in the game doesn't mean that player will always interact with it. So like just because it's in the game, I don't think that's a good enough argument that everyone is using it. For example, I don't use it, even though I know it's there, and I know it's actually a good training for the role that you do, but I don't do it, even though it's in the game. There are, I believe in the beginning ARR, there are certain sections where it forces you to do the first section, I believe, right? Like it forces you to do the Hall of Novice. You cannot. That's part of your MSQ, I believe. However, I did it for the MSQ. I finished the first part, and I'd never continue in finishing it. True, but it's something we don't know in the end. Yeah, I agree. So like my argument can be invalid, and your argument can be invalid because we don't know. At the end of the day, we don't know. The data is in the dev hand, and I think like they just don't remove it because like it's there. It's useful if people want to use it. If they don't want to use it, okay, that's fine. Like who cares, right? But yeah, I would assume like back then when people don't know how to stack, when you see the marker, they're like, wait, what is this marker? And they just keep dying. Well, I hope they die in a dungeon so that people learn. If they don't die when stacking in the dungeon, then the player won't learn, right? Plus free gear. Bro, you get free gear from fucking MSQ anyway, so there's no reason to do Hall of Novice. You get a full gear set, left side. Left side, I've seen that so many times. I never finished it. I don't think the gear is that matters that much, because like if you clear the MSQ, you collect the gear anyway in the first place. But community engineer is nice enough to tell them you stack when you see that symbol. Yeah, that's the difference. Well, because we are way down the road, then we have a lot of veterans starting to teach like new player. I can see back then you don't know what a stack marker is or how to spread properly or even clock spot, right? Like right now we take it for granted that clock spot is just natural about how tank will be in the front, off tank will be at the back, healer will be the left and right, range will be like the northwest, northeast, and like melee will be southwest, southeast. But back then, I don't think like you guys have that. So I can see that. Like that become normalized way down the road. So